Here are the top 3 reasons why I don't think Fierceness, the morning line favorite for this year's Kentucky Derby, will win the big race. It starts with the fact that he's got 8 Curran speed points. Now, since 1992, only one horse has won the Kentucky Derby with 8 Curran speed points, and that was Big Brown. Does Fierceness have the same kind of ability as Big Brown? I would actually argue that he does, at least in relation to today's field, or the Kentucky Derby field. However, there's a reason why horses with 8 Curran speed points and conversely 0 Curran speed points don't win the Derby very often. And that's because the Derby stresses adaptability. Before we get into that, let me explain a little bit what Curran speed points are. They were developed by William Curran, and they measure a horse's running style. So a horse with 0 Curran speed points is a horse that traditionally is in the back part of the field, just doesn't have a lot of early oomph. Horses with 8 Curran speed points, on the other hand, are horses that are typically on the lead or battling for the lead. And once again, when you're looking at those polar opposites, the problem in the Derby is you really need adaptability. If you look at Mind That Bird, he came from last to win the Kentucky Derby in a stunning upset, but he had never shown that he was a confirmed closer. In fact, he came into the Derby that year with the best early speed ration. That's my own measurement of early energy disbursement. The lower figure, meaning a horse that expends more early energy. The higher figures, meaning horses that expend less. Mind That Bird had the top ESR in the field. That's the problem with Fierceness, is that if you look at horses in the Kentucky Derby with 8 Curran speed points with an ESR of -10 or greater, they're 0 for 47. Now, why -10? Well, that just happens to be the Derby par. And take a look at Fierceness's past performances and look at some of the ESRs. Last time in the Florida Derby, a -2. That's really slow for a grade 1 race on the dirt. Take a look at the Champagne. Here he runs the Derby par, a -10, and look at that finish, the worst finish of his career. He's 7th, beaten by 20 lengths. So Fierceness is going to have to make a decision. He's going to have to go fast early and get the lead. He's going to have to stalk the lead, maybe go a little bit slower, but he's not going to get the trip that he did in the Florida Derby. And the horse looks kind of like a diva. And so I think this is a really, really big issue. What is Fierceness going to do, and will he adapt to that faster Kentucky Derby pace? The second reason I don't think Fierceness will win this year's Kentucky Derby is he last recorded a 17% workout rating. That was his final pre-Derby workout. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You can't measure a workout. You can't put a number to a workout. It's not how fast horses run. It's how horses run fast. I agree with a lot of that, but it helps if you have something that you can test. Just saying things like that, you have no way of knowing whether it's true or not. We can test the number. And since 1992, horses with a workout rating of less than 25%, I should say a final workout rating of less than 25%, just 2 for 112 in the Run for the Roses for a -50% ROI. Now, why I think this is especially meaningful as it relates to Fierceness is I did a video before the Florida Derby, and I specifically talked about how well Fierceness was working. And, of course, he goes out and he dominates that race. And we already talked about the pace, but he dominated the race. Now he's coming in with a much, much slower workout. And I know a lot of people are going to get mad, but this is my biggest problem with Todd Pletcher. The Kentucky Derby is all about improvement. It's all about taking the horses right to that precipice. You don't want to squeeze the lemon dry, as Horatio Luro said, but you want to get horses as prepared as possible. This is going to be the ultimate test for them right now. And I don't think Pletcher always does that. I don't see how a slow workout, they said he galloped out really well, that I just don't see how that furthers his progression. So I think the workout is an issue for Fierceness. And the third and final reason I don't think Fierceness will win the Kentucky Derby is that he breaks from post 17, and no horse has won the Kentucky Derby from post position 17. Now, I should say that the same thing was said about Big Brown from post 20 when he won the race, also with 8 Curran speed points. Honestly, I don't think this factor is as big as other factors, but I wanted to point it out because there are some things we can learn from it. And I actually prepared some charts if I can find them. Here they are. And this first one here is just looking at the horse's IV and post position. And so I think it's covered up. I'm going to move myself over here. We'll put myself right in the middle there. So this is looking at post position and the impact value. Impact value just simply measure whether you're winning as often as you should. So a 1.00 impact value means you're winning as often as you should. If it's less than that, you're winning less than you should. More than that, you're winning more than you should. And here, if you look at the post positions, this is the trend line here, and you see that it goes down in terms of impact value as the post position goes up. But here's the thing about horse racing that so many people forget about. There is a difference between probability and profitability. If you have a negative factor, most players know about it, especially the easy ones. Let's say you've got a speed disadvantage. Everybody can see that. And so guess what? Those horses don't get bet as much. So when they win, they return more. So take a look at the post position payoff analysis. Now, unfortunately, the best way to have done this would be to look at the odds of all the starters from all the different post positions. I did not have that data available, so I had to take the average win mutual. But you find that as you move up in post position, here we have a positive trend when it comes to payoff. And this is actually a ratio. This is payoff versus average payoff. So in other words, as the post position goes up, that ratio goes up. So that basically can be looked at as value. So you get more value. Same thing with post position 1. And by the way, a very interesting development brewing from post position 1 this time, in that you have Dornoch starting on the rail. This is one of the front runners in the field. It's a given that he's going to go for the lead. And so with that, I think you might get value if you think he can hold on. It's still going to be tough because, of course, it's the Derby and you got a tough pace and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying he's going to win the race, but I think you'll definitely get some value on Dornoch. So just something to watch for. So those are the 3 reasons that I don't think Fierceness will win the Kentucky Derby. Now, I know if Fierceness wins the Kentucky Derby, people will have watched the first 10, 15 seconds of this video and say, look at you, you're an idiot, blah, 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 blah. These kinds of videos are done because, again, in betting, we're looking for value. It's not about just picking a winner. I know it is for some people, but it's not for me. It's about actually trying to find value. And so I want to give you some reasons why a favorite, a big favorite, might lose. Conversely, when I talk about long shots, I'm going to give you some reasons they might win. Why would I talk about a 99-1 shot and give you reasons they might lose? Conversely, why would I talk about a 5-2 shot or a 4-5 shot or whatever and talk about reasons they might win? What's helpful is to give you reasons why they might lose. That's what this video is about. Hope to do some others down the line. I want to look at some other factors as well. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.